All right, welcome back. It is still News Up. It's our Monday edition of the show. Our next discussion right now will focus on the state police conversation and the justice reform in Nigeria. It is no longer news that there is a heightened discussion around the formulation of a state police, even though that has come with a series of discussions on all sides. The judicial system, the justice reform system is also one discussion that I think we also must have. If indeed the state police can succeed, the justice system also calls for serious reform. Let's invite our guest, Oluyinka Oyeniji, who is a lawyer and a public affairs analyst. He joins us virtually this morning. Good morning, Oluyinka. Nice to see you again.
Good morning, sir.
Nice to see you again. Yeah. All right. So, state police is one discussion that we've had over and over again. Are there fresh concerns for you around the state police, Oluyinka? Are there fresh concerns that you want to share?
I don't know if I'll call them fresh concerns. It's difficult to listen to the news in Nigeria because there's no other way to put it down. They say evil reigns. To be honest, there's no other way to put it. All right, the wanton killing of citizens everywhere, all over Nigeria, kidnapping and all of that. It doesn't seem to appear as though there will be an end in sight. Now, when it comes to state police as a reaction, that's actually the right phrase to use. If we then think of establishing the state police as a reaction to all of these crimes going on, then that means we've not thought it through. And for me, it's not even, I won't call them concerns. I'll rather say that it's not going to work. Let me put it that way, minimally. It's not going to work. Because it means that we've not thought it through and we've not thought about the implications of a knee-jerk reaction to crime that goes unabated in the country. So I don't think it's going to work.
All right, Oluyinka, fantastic. Fantastic. So let's look at the concerns that have been raised recently at a summit where the issue around state police was being discussed. The governor of Anambra State, Chukwuma Soludo, did raise some concerns around the justice system vis-a-vis the whole police initiative. Speak to us what your thoughts around that would be.
To be honest, I've not looked at what the governor of Anambra State has said because I don't think that that it makes any difference, to be honest. But if you say that you're going to have state police, then for the first, firstly, you think about the resources, all right, because that's going to cost a lot. We have the federal police system that have not been able to maintain, from recruitment all the way to welfare, even after death. Their if you like, their dependents. We're not able to take care of them. All right. So you see the entire chain from recruitment all the way to they've laid down their lives, or they've retired, we're unable to do anything with their pension. We grapple with that right now. A single police force. Now, if we decentralize that into 36 states, whereas we are saying some states are not viable, who funds the state police? As of now, we have governors who have security votes and yet are unaccountable, all right, of the same political party as the federal government. So how will changing the government or decentralizing the police force then be able to solve the problems of crime we have when we have one police force that we can concentrate on? We have one inspector general of police. We have all that hierarchy, and it's not working. How do we think we decentralize? Right? When we say that some states are not viable, I don't see any sense that it makes at all. They've got everything that any responsible political officer would have to be able to secure their states. We already have. We already have everything. They've even got the political will. They are not able to implement. Now you want to decentralize and put it in the care of irresponsible individuals. I fail to see how that is going to work. So regardless of what Soludo says, how well is this securing a state? We seem not to be able to understand. And I don't think anybody has ever considered any philosophy behind commission of crimes. If the citizens are not happy, if it looks like the system does not work and we don't have the right institutions, crime would increase. In fact, the citizens would have, there's a distrust, and that's evident, all right? There's a distrust between the citizenry and the government. And as long as you have that, if you like, have 1,000,000 soldiers, will the state police, would they be able to attack terrorists? Would they be able to repel terrorists? How many individuals do you want to recruit into the state police? Will you be able to pay them gratuity? Would you be able to pay them living wage? Would you be able to acquire the ammunition that is required? Where do you want to acquire the ammunition from? How will you be able to train them? You go to police college in Ikeja. For many years, we've been talking about the state of where you even say you are training the police, the facility there, or the absence of the facility there, horrendous since the time of Goodluck Jonathan. We decentralize the prison services. How many states have built their own prisons? Not to talk of the horrendous situation you find in the existing prison services. If you arrest anybody right now of any political weight in Nigeria, they are going to Kuje prison, and that same Kuje prison is subjected to being broken, jailbreak now and again. So it smacks of irresponsibility for anybody to sit down and think that decentralizing the police force as of today, without accountability in the present police system, will solve problems of crime. I'm not a fool. I won't kid myself to thinking that would be a solution.
Okay, so my question would be yes, we have the issues with the state police, but how can we ensure that there's a lot of, less or no influence from political actors in the state to ensure the effective running of the state police in the various states? Yes, that's my question.
Well, you guys concentrate on what you think is the obvious. In Lagos State now, I can say that we have state police. Ever since, so many dispensations in the time past, we had something called Governor's Monitoring Team, GMT, right there in Alausa, Ikeja, properly equipped. Since the days of Operation Sweep of Buba Marwa, we had special police force. In Lagos State, it's still there. The likes of these who came from those ranks. I'm sure the present Inspector General of Police must have headed it. Headed that issue. I don't know what you call it. But it was private, it was something, so private to mean that the governor had direct access. The governor funded, the office of the governor worried always, and they were quick to react. From days of Operation Sweet till date, whenever the governor's monitoring team goes out in terms of enforcement, it's a different ball game altogether. So today, I'm not going to concentrate on what governors will do with state police. That is to say that you even think that there will be some kind of framework within which they will work. I'm not going to kid myself to thinking that we should even start from there. I'm saying to you that I don't see any state in Nigeria that can provide even the proper framework. All right, the host there started the conversation talking about the institutions. I'm saying we don't even have the capacity. You don't wake up one day and say you want to start state police. For any Nigerian in his or her right mind to think that that's the solution, then there's a problem. Because what you should do is a phased plan. All right, phase 1, this is what we are going to do. Phase 2, this is what we are going to do. Phase 3, this is what we are going to do. We are just going to change the law, and then crime will stop in Nigeria. It makes absolutely no sense. So I am not bothered about what you think that the governors will do. Even in Lagos State, we probably struggle with ensuring that the neighborhood watch is working. In Lagos State, well, we are talking about state police. Even uniforms, NYC uniform, we have a problem with it. The former police force, or the present police force that we are facing now, had problems with sewing uniforms. We are talking about whether a governor would amass powers to himself or use it illegitimately. We've not even gotten there at all. I'm saying we can't even see. There's nothing that can show us. People that cannot take care of coppers will take care of policemen. I don't see it at all.
Last week, the former Inspector General of Police, Mike Okuru, gave an interview. He said, look, if you are not addressed what led to the failure of the federal police, and you want to create state police will also fail, because it is the failure of federal police that make people to clamor for creation of state police. And he said, funding, training, the necessary equipment and all that, that is capital intensive, that if there is no proper funding for federal police, how would the state properly fund state police? That if they cannot properly fund them, there is no point creating them. Because the federal police cannot fight terrorists now. So why can state police now fight terrorists if they are not properly trained and equipped? So do you agree with
100%.
it?
I also agree with you 100%. We don't see, I'm saying, I'm a lawyer, all right? And we have, even as it is right now, do you know, I'm told stories of what is happening in places like Ogba Magistrate Court. Igbo Shere Magistrate Court. The last time I was in court, in Ogba Magistrate Court, there was no bedroom for me to use. None. For the life of me, I cannot even understand that. As a legal practitioner, in courts, even the generators are not working. So there's a time within which they switch on generator, and there's a time they switch it off, and we're unable to dispense justice. Now, so if we have state police and you arrest, let's even say terrorists give up and they come out and say, we are no longer engaged in this criminal act. Where will we put them? Where are the magistrates that will sit on the matter? In what magistrate courts? In what prison will we take them? Because all of a sudden we think, would establishing state police prevent crime or tackle crime? That's the question you want to ask. So I would rather put that money, if there is any at all, I'd rather put that money into ensuring that citizens are discouraged from committing crimes. I don't understand this for the life of me. You were saying on the show that we need everybody to cooperate. I don't understand. You want the hungry person to cooperate with you to dispense your own responsibility, your own constitutional responsibility. As a matter of fact, you may very well find that as soon as you decentralize state police, the president is going to come out and say you have to amend the constitution, that it's not only the president that is responsible for security in the country anymore, that even the state governors and those you put in this police hierarchy, that you have to amend the constitution for that to work. I think that the first thing we should do is hold ourselves accountable and be genuine in investigating why crime has continued unabated in our nation. Back in those days, even when private citizens cooperated with enforcement agencies to secure their environment, it was for the love, genuine love that people had for one another. It was for the trust that they had in the apparatus. But today, all of those are broken down. And if we say that the present police force is corrupt, then has it changed the rest of the people you are bringing into the police force? Are they less corrupt? Do they think that corruption is not a way of life? So I'm not even going to go about all that of with the governor amass powers or use state police illegitimate. We have thugs. There are governors that have thugs. There are governors who amass weapons. And I've never seen, since we've been doing politics in Nigeria, that they say they arrest anybody for the political killings. In Lagos State, Funshaw Williams was killed. Today, we don't know who did it. In Rivers State, you have explosions. We don't have state police yet. You have private individuals carrying dynamite, carrying guns, killing people, maiming people. At NSAS, I saw with my own eyes in Ebute Metta, private individuals shooting at protesters. Still today, nobody has been brought to book. Nobody. They've not arraigned anybody in court and said, because you killed at so time, you are going to jail for this. And you want to create state police? I mean, I think that we should be wiser than that. We should beam the satellites on ourselves. Are we truly ready to ensure that crime ends in Nigeria?
Some are saying that we are focusing on the kinetic in dealing with crime. We are not talking about the non-kinetic, unemployment, drug abuse, millions of out-of-school children and co. So do you believe that we should apply both?
I'm not going to go into the English of it, to be honest. I hear it all the time. People talk about it, but it doesn't make any sense to me. So there's no point. Like I said, Yorubas have an adage, okay? If you deceive me, I won't deceive myself. I try as much as possible to ensure that I'm not deceived. Whatever anybody else wants to do, best of luck to them. But whether it's kinetic or non-kinetic, I'm telling you, impossible for you to even trace unemployment to crime in Nigeria. I'm telling you. I can't say that I'm gainfully employed anywhere. I'm saying that to you. And yes, I have all of those degrees. But of course, it takes a lot to hold back. It takes a lot to hold back to not to allow the society to influence you. Look at the lifestyle that we live. I've asked myself before when I was contesting governor of Lagos State, and I asked people, I said, what is wrong in the governor of the state using the public transport? I asked that question. And I said, as governor of Lagos State, I'm going to be using the public transport. We have the BRT. I'll join the BRT from Marina, and I'm coming to my office in Alausa. And people say, no, we can't allow that. That is the mindset. They say, no, we can't allow that to happen. But how will the politicians or the political office holders be able to understand what the citizens are going through if they don't put themselves in their shoes? That's the question to ask. So it's not the unemployed graduates that are committing crime. It is the activities of the politicians that make crime profitable. Simple. It's the activities of the politicians. Why ride in a convoy? Okay, the president is in town. Why ride in a couple? When Fashola was governor of Lagos State, I'm told he drove in private cars and people will not know. I'm told he rode on power bikes on the night to inspect. How would anybody want to commit crime? Fashola had one of the leanest convoys that you ever find in Lagos State. Driving in front of my office, maybe 2, 3 cars. And you see him in that one Jeep. In that one Jeep. It didn't have tinted glass. You will see books stacked trying to read. Why would anybody, who would you want to take after when you have a governor who is responsible and is obviously responsible? But nowadays, social media, when someone is popping champagne, somebody is traveling, they're on the yacht somewhere, they are doing this and that, and you say that the citizens should sit back. I think that the innocent citizens are the ones suffering. And there are many of them. Those who are destroying our society, those who are profiting from it, are very few. And they have the backing of politicians. Who carries, I mean, which university graduate will carry a weapon? We are all endangered species. So it's not about kinetic or not kinetic. We should check what we call politics in Nigeria. We should check the political structure. And until even the political office holders, until they change their mindset, we will still be reacting. And I heard the unfortunate, I mean, it's good news that those children were released. But where are the Chibok girls? Is it because these ones are Southwest? How would I feel if I was in Benue or Plateau State and they quickly, 50 days, they brought these ones out? But Chibok girls, we have lost them forever. And in Plateau, the killings have not stopped. Why shouldn't the whole country rise up? Because this is happening elsewhere. Why should it be? Because it's happening in the Southwest. We condone illegality. And it's not about whether it's kinetic, it's not kinetic. No, I don't think that the present political class has the will or even the capacity to transform Nigeria. I doubt it very much.
So, Luyinka, I haven't listened to all you've talked about so far. Are you suggesting that we throw away this whole conversation around state police? So, where do we go from here in our fight against insecurity?
It doesn't make any sense. Why don't we use resources to establish industries? Why doesn't a government, a state, even if it's a state government, say that for the next 4 years or for the next 10 years, even if it's going to extend beyond my term, we are going to focus on agriculture. We are going to provide security for agriculture, and we don't have to use the state police. We are going to earmark funds, security votes that we have to ensuring that the present police force is well equipped. We are going to ensure that their children can attend schools. My own parents, it's unbelievable. My mom said to me last week that they earn 37,000 naira as pension. Serving Lagos State, retiring as assistant director. I've not been able to think properly since that time. 37,000. What would I buy? They don't even have medication. Concentrate funding on welfareism. And it's not in kuli or akara or sharing money or going to sing winner when people have lost loved ones. Show that you are empathetic with the situation that the people are going through. Then you will see. Let's try it. Let's say that we are devoting 1 trillion naira of the 203 NPC. Let's put 20 trillion in industrialization, in providing employment, and see whether those people you have employed will not chase away the bandits and the terrorists. I think that we are being irresponsible even talking about state police. I won't say we are putting the cart before the horse. It's an irresponsible conversation. We are checking from responsibilities. It is constitutionally provided that the governor of a state or the president, the number one responsibility is to secure. You can't do that, resign. It's until we start to tell them that you have failed in your responsibility and you have to leave. That's when we'll be ready for state police.
All right, I believe this is where we wrap up on the show. Thank you so much. I was going to ask another question, but I guess this is where we get to the melting point of this discussion. We still have to keep engaging. But let me ask about justice reforms. Let's turn the conversation into justice reforms. What are the much needed reforms that are needed to take this conversation? Because yes, state police is one, but holistically we have a lot of issues in our justice system. If we don't have a healthy justice system, we cannot actually actualize state police because there'll be abuse, human rights, and all those accountability issues. So what are the major things that you have observed in the justice system that sort of needs to be changed to enhance accountability of this state police that is set to, gain grounds, if it will gain grounds at the time that we're expecting it to gain grounds?
So if I tell you that there's only one person that I see in Nigeria that probably understands it a bit, you won't believe who that person is. And that's Yeson Wike. It's the only person in political office in Nigeria that understands it just a tiny little bit. And that is because it just seems as though, I don't understand it. In Yoruba, you say that if you sell your family member cheaply, you can't get that person to have any honor at all. Our judges, what welfare. In Lagos State back in the day, judges were living in the best parts of Lagos, in Ikoyi, in Lekki. They had resources to send their children to school, albeit abroad, even though we should improve our schools in Nigeria. There would have been medical welfare, all right, for judges. I think we should start with, I can't take it away from being responsible, because we want judges not to be corrupt, but we are ensuring that they suffer. If a judge, a magistrate will sit in darkness, is in the office, will sit in darkness. Some of them even use, back in the day, they were using solar panel in a Bushiri magistrate court. How do you understand? How do you even start to try to understand that? We are supposed, the remuneration for judges is supposed to be taken directly from the consolidated account. Is that still the case today? Are judges able to prepare their own budgets? The Judicial Council, the Judicial Commission to prepare their own budgets, and first line charge, they get paid? Is that what is happening? How do we appoint judges? I've spoken about this before. I can never understand it. Why the governor of the state or the president will have to approve for judges to be appointed? Who will he put there? Who cares? Put his wife, his children, family member, everybody in the judiciary, because he understands how this works. But by ourselves as citizens, are we holding them to account to say, no, this is wrong? So for us, I'll break it down. First, you're probably funding facilities. You're funding facilities. It's very important. Our institutions will not work without the required infrastructure. Let's have more courts. Let's have more judges. Let the courts, let them be decent enough to dispense justice. Let's have more prisons. Let's determine the kind of prison system we are operating. Is it to ensure that the convicts, when they come back into the society, are still remedial? Is it remedial? Okay. Are we ensuring that they are transformed? Or it's some sort of punishment? In Nigeria, prison system is just punishment. Go, die, be sick. You are already convicted once you get into the prison. So I think that it's important for us to be responsible. I can't take it away from that. To be responsible and then to fund. Let's fund. We have laws. We have administration of criminal justice that's been amended. The president has even sent another bill to amend that. We have laws that are capable of taking us where we need to be. But we need to fund the judiciary so that the institution can be strengthened. Then we can start talking about other decentralization of power from the center.
Where do you think we can begin this process of reforming the judicial system from? I mean, when you look at the narratives, you look at the Constitution, the provisions on the Constitution, I don't know. I mean, is it the National Assembly? Is it this National Assembly that we want to begin a reform of the judiciary, or is it this set of executives that seem to be, cashing out or enjoying activities of this current state of our judiciary that would want to spearhead a reform? Where do we begin this reform for our judicial system from?
Well, as it is as of today, we're in July, as of July 2026, I think that we should make these issues electoral issue, to be honest, and the press would have to play a significant role here. I think that the third sector is doing remarkably well in terms of institutionalization, holding institutions to account, public officers. I think that the third sector is doing well. I think that we should then make them electoral issues. I was saying it, and I did a little campaign on this, all right, in the build up to I believe it was 2019 elections. Yeah, 2019 elections. I said to a few people, I said, what is the agenda before the 9th National Assembly? That was it. I was talking about it at the time. What's the agenda? What do we expect of them? All right. The legislature is one of the most powerful organs of government. I'm telling you, because the legislature can question the executive, all right, and through the executive, we will question the judiciary, all right. But you don't see those people who go there, who go to the National Assembly or state houses of assembly, have absolutely no clue. And the only bill that will always make law, possibly, because we have seen that can also change, is the budgetary appropriation. That's where everybody sits and considers. But before somebody goes, I think that you could consider it as silver bed, right? Before anybody goes into the legislative arm of government, tell us, frame. You probably need to frame the legislative agenda to them. They have no idea. They are not being trained. They are not being taught in their political parties how to frame legislative agenda. But those in the press, you have an idea of this thing. Train them. ask them questions. You are going into the House of Assembly. Is it constituency projects you want to go and focus on? Or you are going to frame laws that will ensure that all other institutions are working? That is where we should start from. Let's make it an electoral issue. You are going into the National Assembly. You are going into the state houses of assembly. This is what you should concentrate on. From state to state, what should the legislative agenda be? And on the national level, what should the legislative agenda for the country be? And you ask questions from those who are going into those offices. You train them at the very minimum. They will have an idea of what you are talking about. I think that's where we should start from.
Oluyinka Oyeniji, lawyer and public affairs analyst. Thank you so very much for your time with us on the show today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I wish you guys a great week ahead.
All right, we'll go on a break and we'll come back with our next discussion. Do stay with us.